Well, hello, friends. Real quick before we kick off the episode, I have to let you know about something exciting. I am seriously considering having an upgraded version of this podcast where you get bonus episodes and exclusive content. But here's the deal, I'm trying to decide what that content and those episodes should be. I do have some ideas, and I was wondering if you could vote really quick and tell me what you think about what would entice you, what would be interesting to you to get as bonus episodes on this podcast. For example, deeper dives into topics. Maybe I'm answering questions that many of you ask about starting or growing a business. Maybe even overhearing coaching calls, something like this. It would be a paid, upgraded version of this podcast, not very expensive at all, probably just a handful of dollars a month, but it be extra content for you to help you along your journey. My whole goal is to help you build your business dream. And I would love to offer you even more because some of you are asking for it. So if you could just look down in the show notes right now, there's two ways you can give me your answers. Number one, I have a Google form with 5 quick questions. It can be anonymous. You just answer them and vote on what would be interesting to you. Or number two, I have a voice memo system. You can just click it and you could just leave a voice memo with your phone right now and just record it and tell me what kind of topics, what things would be interesting to you behind the scenes, market news, what would be things that would be extra that would be really valuable to you. So thank you all so much. Okay, on to the episode.
Well, hello, this is Kimberly Brock, and for over 20 years, I've been running my own businesses that have not only been profitable, but personally fulfilling to me. So now I'm on a mission to help other new business owners just like you make money doing what you love too. Now we're going to have some fun, so let's get started. Well, hello, this is Kimberly. It's episode 126, and I am so glad that you are listening today because I'm sharing with you 3 things in your business that you need to use really good judgment for. You need to tap in to the power of discernment. Have you ever heard this before? Discernment is just able to judge, able to make decisions on things, able to discern and figure out. And I want you to be able to do this. You have to be a discerning business owner. So you're going to hear 3 situations where you need to be a discerning owner, and I can't wait to share them with you. So if you are new, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. I have no doubt that this podcast is going to help you along your business journey, whether you're in the idea stage, whether you're just starting, getting everything going and you're not even open yet, or whether you are open for business and in the early stages. Welcome. I'm so happy you're here. Make sure you get plugged in right now. And here's the ways to get plugged in. Number 1, subscribe to this podcast. If you're up in Apple Podcasts or you're in Spotify, whatever you're listening, there should be a plus button, a follow button, something so that you don't miss out on any future episodes. The second thing you can do right now, scroll down. I've got links for you. If you scroll down, in the show notes there, and I have a private Facebook group called Women Starting Businesses Doing What We Love. So make sure you apply to get in there because we have such a great group of ladies that are all in there supporting each other, asking questions, sharing their struggles. It's awesome. I'm in there quite often and I just love it. It is a great group. I'm so proud of all the women in there. They are all so kind and helpful and supportive, and it's awesome. So get plugged into the Facebook group. And then I have some free goodies for you. If you're new, you're in the idea stage, you're toying around with some ideas, I've got a great guide for you. It's a multi-page guide. It's called an Ikigai guide. It will help you with that. And I have a 16-step checklist that you can work through if you're starting your business right now to make sure you've covered all your bases. Okay. So get that. And I'm so excited that you are here and that you found this podcast. So yay. And if you have been a longtime listener or you just started listening, I want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for pursuing your dream and listening to this podcast so that you can learn and grow. And would you do me a huge favor? If you find value in this podcast, would you share this podcast with someone that you know? If you know some fellow business owners or you see a post in a Facebook group that says, hey, I'm looking for a business podcast, will you share this with them? I'll put the link below so that it'll be easily shareable. That would mean so much to me just to help me spread the word. Apple has done a great job of showing my podcast to people, and I'm so very humbled and honored by that, but it could spread even more. So if you know someone that's starting a business in the early stages, if you have family members, friends, or as like I said, you're in a Facebook group where people are looking for authentic podcasts, would you share this podcast with them? That would mean so much to me. Okay, that's it. On to the episode. Well, hello, everyone. How are you? What is going on with your business? I need to know. I ask this every week. I wish we could chat face to face. With my Grow Getters, I get to hear how their businesses are doing, and I stay pretty in tune. If they are the types that share it, then I know it and I love it. And I love to check up on them, and I want to check up on you too. If you're listening here and we haven't met, I hope that your business is starting well and that you are loving it and that you are feeling fulfilled and excited for your future. So I'm so happy you're here. We're talking about the power of discernment. And have you heard this phrase before? I would ask you that first of all. I was listening to an audiobook, and it was a Christian audiobook, and they were talking about the power of discernment and that we should be praying for that, right? But in our business, we need to have the power of discernment as well. And some of you may be going, what does discernment mean? Well, it means to have good judgment or to be able to judge. I guess the ability to judge well is what I'm reading here in the online dictionary. But it's also been talked about in Christian contexts, perception in the absence of judgment with a view to obtaining spiritual guidance and understanding. That sounds kind of choppy to me. But just the discernment of knowing what is right and wrong, knowing what is of God and not of God, and all that kind of thing. So I wanted to talk to you about this today in terms of your business, because there's 3 situations where you really need to have the power of discernment. Now there's a zillion more. Today I'm just covering 3, but I want to put this in your brain today that you have to be a discerning business owner. You have to know how to make good decisions. Okay. Decisions that are for you, that are the right direction for you. And we're going to talk about them. So just kind of settle with that today as I'm talking, that you have to be discerning. You have to be choosy. If you're choosing a spouse or even just a mate, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever it is, right? You have to be discerning, right? You wouldn't just start dating anyone. You would do your due diligence, right? If you are choosing an animal that you want to adopt, you kind of play with it a little. You see if, that you have the connection, the whole thing. You use discernment. When you're buying anything, when you're buying clothes at the store, you don't just randomly pick up clothes. You try them on. You make sure that they fit the need that you have, right? When you get your hair colored, you don't just get it colored any color usually. Sometimes you do for fun. I've seen some people doing it totally for fun, and that's awesome, and they're so brave. But, use the power of discernment. The person that's doing your hair is smart about how they do it. It's the same with your business. You've got to be a good judge for the decisions that you are making. You're making decisions all the time, every day, about everything. Pricing, product, who you work with, when you work, what you need to put on your website, what photos you take, how you show up. I mean, the list goes on. Am I right? Yes, you're making decisions every day. So you need to be a good judge when you're making those decisions. So let's start out with the first one, which is that you need to be discerning in terms of what products or services you offer. You need to make a good, smart decision about what you are offering, okay? Really, you need to make a good decision about your business idea. You need to make sure that it's validated, that people would want to pay money for it, okay? I know we all have ideas. I've had a million business ideas. I'm an idea person. I'm constantly coming up with ideas for things, and I'm always having to discern, is that valid or not? Like, I even come up with podcast ideas. I have a notes app on my phone, and I put them down when I think of them. And then later I come back and I'm like, okay, I need to record an episode today. What could I talk about? And I look at the ones that I have there, and I'm discerning. I'm judging whether they are really good ideas or not. Was the day that I did that, I just had worked out and my brain was going 100 miles an hour, and I'd come up with all these ideas and they're not really that good of an idea? Or are they a good idea? Only I can figure that out. I have to be discerning when I go through my list. So same goes for you when you're figuring out your product or service. or your business idea in general, you have to be discerning. You don't want to be offering something that nobody wants to pay money for. Let's face it. Am I right? You don't. You don't want to go through all the work. You don't want to go through all the time that you're investing into this without being a good judge of that product or service. And how you do that is you talk to people, you get their feedback, you start looking around. Is there competition? Is there not competition? If there's competition, it's a good sign that it's a good business idea. If there's not competition, ask yourself, is this really innovative or is this not a need? Is this just not a need in general? So you have to discern that. I watch Shark Tank all the time and I make my husband watch it, and half the time he doesn't want to watch it, but I do because I'm a nerd and I love businesses. I love seeing the ideas that they come with. And those investors, if you watch Shark Tank, those investors are always trying to discern, is this really a good idea? And they're also discerning the business owner that is up there and saying, do I really want to work with this person? Okay, that's a big one, because if they don't like their personality that they would be, teaming up with in this investment for this business, then they say no. They have to be discerning. You have to learn with your product or service, is this a product worth producing and will people pay for it? You have to be discerning in your business idea and the products or services that you offer, because you may have a great business idea, but maybe you have too many ideas for the products or services. You need to keep it simple. When you start, keep it simple, be discerning, pick the best things that you could offer and go with those first. Okay. So that's the first thing. Be discerning in your business idea and the products or services that you offer. The second thing that you need to be discerning within your business is in regards to what is important to be working on right now. Okay. Because here's the deal. You are going to have a million things going on in your head. And I see this with all my grow getters, and I love it because they've got lots of ideas and they're trying to do a lot of things, but sometimes they get overwhelmed, and that's normal if you're getting overwhelmed too. But they get overwhelmed and then they don't know what to focus on right now. That's what my whole program is for, is to help them focus on the right things right now and master those things right now, so then they can move on to the next level things, right? Whether it be email marketing or with their website or getting themselves to be known and visible and all that good stuff, right? But you have to know what to be focusing on right now. You have to be discerning. You can't be focusing on the world's greatest website with every bell and whistle when really you should be focusing on getting yourself out there and finding clients, or, being visible so that people can find you. Right? And see your products or services. When you are just starting your business, the most important thing you should be working on is becoming visible, right? But there are things that you need to be doing in the background to set yourself up for success. There are foundations that you need to be laying, and that's what you have to be doing. Okay? But don't be working on things that don't matter right now. Like if you're starting email marketing, you don't need to do all these fancy things. You just need to be sending your first emails to your people. Right? We know that. But it's a struggle. The struggle is real. I see it with all my grow getters, all of them. There's not one that is just free from their brain wanting to do all these other things or feeling overwhelmed with all the things and not knowing what to focus on. When you're starting a business, it is even more crucial to focus on the right things, because you may not have the capital to have a whole team and hire a whole bunch of people that can focus on all those ideas that you've come up with. You may not have that ability. So you are in charge. You have to be discerning. You have to know all of the important things to work on and be creating and be establishing right now, and the things that you need to be mastering right now. Okay, like email marketing, website, maybe a content strategy if you're online, visibility strategy, which again is all the things that we work on in Grow Getters, but you have to be doing that. Okay. So the first thing that I said you have to be discerning with is your business idea or the products or services that you sell. The second thing you have to be discerning with is your time and what you're focusing on. You have to know what to be working on right now so you don't waste time, so that you actually move forward and this business gets off the ground and it gets going growing, and making money consistently. You'll hear me say that a lot. Going, growing, and making money consistently, right? The third thing you need to be discerning with in your business is who you pay to help you in your business. And this is huge because you are going to pay someone to help you in your business, whether it be graphic design, someone with copywriting, someone with your email marketing, something with your logo, branding, a coach like me, a group program, a course, a workshop, whatever it is. Realize that you're hiring someone every time you give your money for a course, a workshop, a program, or you're actually hiring someone. It's pretty obvious when you hire like a graphic designer, you know, or if you need like a social media expert, right? You have to be discerning. And this is what I would say to you. Obviously, with lower priced items, and this is my advice, with lower priced items, you don't have to be as concerned about the person that you're working with or, totally concerned with their qualifications. I mean, that's just the honest truth. A lot of people can share some information with you for low priced offers. But if you are working with someone on your branding, if you are working with someone on graphic design, if you are working with someone on social media, if you are working with a business coach like me, if you are joining a program like Grow Getters, you are buying a course like maybe in the past if you bought the Just Start course or anything like that, you have to be discerning, okay? Because you are a new business owner and you are a target of marketing. Once you start searching online, you're going to hear me talk about this all the time because it's something that just freaks me out because I know it's like a kid. It's like a kid when a kid gets a phone. You know they're going to search on YouTube. You know they're going to search on Google Chrome. So you try to protect them. You put restricted modes on. Maybe you put an app on their phone because you are setting boundaries for them for their well-being, right? You're setting boundaries for their well-being, not because you don't want them to have fun searching on YouTube, nothing like that. You don't want them to waste time. A lot of people put on the screen time limits and all that stuff, putting boundaries on, right? Because things are fun. They have lots of ideas, but there's things that can hurt them out there. So we have to protect them, right? It's the same with you as you're starting your business. You have to set boundaries for yourself and don't go spend thousands and thousands on everyone helping you unless you have zero time to work on this business and you are fine with not knowing how to run your business and handing it off to someone else, which is totally fine because there are people that do that. They run very successful businesses. They're not really interested in running it themselves. They immediately outsource everything from website design to email marketing to social media to setting up things in their business, whatever it may be, and more power to them. That's amazing. And they just do that. Maybe they have a full-time job and they've decided they don't really want to be doing anything in it. They just want someone to do it all for them and pay them. Okay, that's fine. But most of you here want to run your business yourself and you want to make enough money where then you can hire out and you can start delegating some of those tasks that are not your favorite tasks. I think a lot of you have tasks that you want to do, right? You want to make whatever you're making, you want to create whatever you're creating, you want to design whatever you're designing, you want a hand in it. And I think it's awesome to have the dream to outsource most of the stuff and do only what's in your zone of genius. But here's the deal. When you start your business, you're not going to have that luxury. So most likely you're going to have to start everything yourself. And then when something is so bad that you're like, I literally can't do this any longer, or I don't want to do this, I'm miserable, then hire that out. Okay? Then hire that out. And when you're hiring that out, make sure that who you're hiring is in alignment with you. I'm not saying they have to have all your values and all your things, but I'm saying don't just go and sign up for something super quick. I've done that. I did that with some graphic design. It was expensive and I don't like any of it. And I knew I shouldn't have done that. It was a spur of the moment. I signed up. I'm not going to say what or who or anything. I'm just going to say, and I don't use any of it. So nobody would know what it is anyways. But I was like, why did I do that? It's because I got really desperate. I was in a desperate mode. And I was just like, oh, I'll just buy this. And then that way I'll be fine. No, total waste of money. Be discerning. Hey, listen, the best of us get sucked into something. Okay. That's just how the world is. That's how marketing is. It's made to suck us in. It's made to get us to buy and think that we have to have it, or else we will not have a successful business, or else we will never have graphics that look good, or whatever it may be. Okay. So just be discerning. Think through who you're working with. Do you agree with their method? Do you know that this is the type of person that's actually going to help you? Yes, they may have gotten results from other people, but make sure maybe you check it out, because I've seen things where there's results, but it was nothing like the results that I was expecting. I can't explain it, but I just do your due diligence. Have the power of discernment. Don't rush into things with a needy energy, a desperate, like, I've got to do this right now. Have to. Got to get this up. I'm just going to, the first person or the first thing. You will regret it. You will regret it. Don't do that. Think through who you're buying into if it's a big purchase. Just do your due diligence. That's all I'm saying. They don't have to be exactly like you. They don't have to believe the way you do. You have to know that they're going to be the type that's going to help you get whatever results that you're looking for. So you have to have the power of discernment with people that you hire. People tell me that have come into Grow Getters, and you've heard them on the podcasts and all that, is that they had been listening to me for a long time on this podcast, or a friend had told them about me or whatever. And so they had done their due diligence. They already kind of knew, they saw a pattern, they saw results from other people, and they said yes. And they invested in themselves to hold themselves accountable so that they could live this dream. Okay, because that's really what you're doing. When you buy into something, a lot of things like programs like Grow Getters and things, you are buying in to yourself. You're committing because you gave the money, and you're like, okay, now I'm focused. I'm making myself focus, and it works. That's why people get gym memberships. That's why they hire personal trainers. That's why I buy HelloFresh every week and have 3 meals. My husband was looking at it the other day. He's like, what is the cost on this? This is a fortune. And I'm like, yeah, it is. But do you know how much stress it saves me? I have food in a box delivered, enough food, to feed us, delivered to me with the recipe, and I still get to cook it and feel like I have my hand in dinner, and I can control what goes in there. If I don't want to add all the butter or whatever, I can control that. But it's laid out for me. I don't have to think. I don't have to come up with the recipes, like none of that. It is like one of my very favorite things, right? This is not good for some people. They want to cook themselves. They know how they can go to the store and buy things cheaper. It works for me. I'm discerning though. I decided that was worth the money, because now I could have dinner on the table every night without all the stress of me worrying about what to cook. Okay. I like to cook. I'm not the best at it, but I don't have to worry about it. I was discerning about that, right? Because I could still just get groceries delivered, which I do get Instacart too. I know it's kind of ridiculous, but I get Instacart too for just regular groceries like milk and all that. And I could do that. If I planned ahead, I could plan on my meals for every night and do that. But I already know that I struggle with coming up with what to cook and planning ahead for meals and all that, and it's not going to work. So for me, this was a good choice. It's not maybe a good choice for you or for someone else. And not everyone would agree with me that they should buy HelloFresh. I'm just trying to give you an example of something that I invested in myself. So I had peace every evening and knew that I had food on the table. And it's fun because my daughter that still lives at home gets to look up at the menu for the week and pick the one that we're going to make that night. And she started to cook them, which is amazing. And it has the recipes there and it's awesome. You have to be discerning about the people that you hire, or the software or apps that you subscribe to, or the groups that you join, or the courses that you get, or the workshops that you join. Please be discerning. Don't just be impulsive. Do your due diligence, okay? And make sure that this is actually a right decision for you to invest in. I don't want you to waste your money. We've all wasted money. I've wasted money on stuff that I've bought for my business that I'm like, why did I do that? And I've had too many subscriptions before each month, and I've had to cancel those off. And I'm getting really lean now. I'm doing really good at keeping only the necessity. So learn from me. Don't waste money. Okay. Okay. So again, the power of discernment. You need to have the power of discernment in terms of your business idea and what you're selling and offering. You need to have the power of discernment to figure out what you should be focusing on right now for the beginning of your business. That is important. Okay. And the third thing that you need to have discernment with is who you work with and who you pay to help you, whether it be a freelancer, whether it be someone on Upwork, whether it be a coach like me, right? You know whether you connect with me. And it makes it easy for some of you. You're like, oh yeah, I'm joining Grow Getters. I have no doubt. This is what I want to be doing. I want to work with her. Some of you may be thinking, she's not exactly the one for me, and there's someone else out there. I am so happy for you. That's all I want, is for you to find someone to work with so you get the help that you need, because you are going to need help. You cannot do this alone. You cannot make the transformation that you need to make from a normal human being with a dream to a successful, fulfilled, impactful business owner that you are capable of becoming. You have to make a transformation. So be discerning about who you pull in your corner. So that is it. That's the episode. I want to invite you today, if you are just starting your business or you've got an idea and you're like, how do I put this into an actual plan so I could see what this would look like, then make sure you check out my mini business plan workshop. No, your business plan doesn't have to be 899 pages. It doesn't have to be this whole official document. It can be a really fun and exhilarating process. And you can see how your idea would come to life as a business and see all those 9 foundational pieces come together. So check that out if you're in that stage. And if you are about to start your business, you're taking steps to start, or you're in the early growth stages and you know that you could use help mastering all the fundamentals of your business and having motivation and accountability from here on out till you get your business going and making consistent income, then make sure you check out Grow Getters below. I would love to welcome you in and support you along this amazing journey that you're on. Okay, that's it. Have a great day. Bye now.
Now, this episode may be over, but our relationship does not have to end here. Head on over to KimberlyBrock.com, and yes, you can get more valuable information for your journey. And you know what? You don't need to go through this alone. I would love to help you. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye.